Not yet. Yeah, it's live now.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, for joining us, especially from YouTube. Welcome to the 8th installation of the National Youth Online Gathering. Today's theme is Be a First Aid Hero at School and in your communities. Welcome to the meeting and welcome to the call. We are so happy and excited to meet all of you. We have already reached the 880 mark on Zoom. And I believe more people are pouring in from on YouTube as well. Welcome to the call, and to kick off, before we start, we have a video to share with you in conjunction with the World First Aid Day. So enjoy the video. All right, so as the video suggests, today is the World First Aid Day 2021, and congratulations to all of you for joining us in celebration of World First Aid Day 2021. This year's theme is Be a First Aid Hero at School and in your communities. Yeah. Again, to those who have just joined us on Zoom, kindly another reminder again to kindly keep your microphones muted. We encourage you to turn on your cameras if the bandwidth allows. And please rename yourselves according to the state abbreviation shown here, and also your name that you would like to be called as well. All right, we're going to begin very shortly, and we will begin shortly, and I'll show you another video to share with you on some first aid tips.
Hi, my name's Maria and I'm a doctor. In my line of work, first aid can be the difference between life and death. But you don't have to be a professional to save a life. So if you find yourself in an emergency situation, follow these safe steps. A stroke is caused by disruption of blood flow to the brain. The quicker it's treated, the less damage is done. So think fast. F is for face. A telltale sign is when part of the face droops and sight is affected. A is arms. Be aware of numbness, loss of strength, or paralysis in the arms or side of the body. S is speech. Listen out for slurred speech and confused sentences. And T is for time, because time is of the essence. If you see any of these signs, call the emergency services immediately. Lie the person down in a comfortable position and stay with them until help arrives. If you find yourself in the right place at the right time, be prepared to save a life and follow these safe steps. For more life-saving advice, visit safesteps.com.
All right, earlier was first aid tips on stroke. Yeah, and this was done in conjunction and in collaboration with Prudence Foundation and also National Geographic as well. Again, another kind reminder for those who just joined, kindly please rename yourselves according to the naming conventions that we have stated, and we will begin the session shortly as well.
Hi, my name is Richie and I'm a paramedic. In my line of work, first aid can be the difference between life and death. But you don't have to be a professional to save a life. So if you find yourself in an emergency situation, follow these safe steps. If you see someone choking, act quickly. Ask someone to call the emergency services. Stand the person up and begin the 5 and 5 process. First, give 5 sharp back blows between the shoulder blade with the heel of your hand. Keep checking to see if the blockage has been cleared. If not, apply 5 abdominal thrusts. Stand behind them and wrap your arms around their waist. Make a fist with one hand and grab it with the other. Then perform with 5 quick inwards and upward thrust. Repeat the 5 and 5 process until the blockage has been relieved. If you find yourself in the right place at the right time, be prepared to save a life and follow these safe steps. For more life-saving advice, visit safesteps.com.
All right, I hope you guys are now more able to know about how to handle choking situations. Before we start, we would like to just quickly introduce our special speakers that we have prepared for you today. Today's session is done in collaboration with the Epilepsy Council of Malaysia. And with us today, we have Associate Professor Dr. Wong Sao Wei, who is a Senior Consultant Pediatric Neurologist based in the Hospital Chancellor Tunku Mukhris, University Kebangsaan, Malaysia. Apart from that as well, we also have Dr. Shirini Bazir Ahmad, a consultant physician and neurologist from the Subang Jaya Medical Center. And of course, last but not least, we have also Dr. Koo Ching Sung, consultant neurologist, Hospital Chancellor Tunku Mukhris, University Kebangsaan, Malaysia as well. Right? So you will be able to meet them shortly when I hand the session over to them. So stay tuned, and before we start, I have another last video to share with all of you. So do enjoy.
Hi, my name is Rishi and I'm a paramedic. In my line of work, first aid can be the difference between life and death. But you don't have to be a professional to save a life. So if you find yourself in an emergency situation, follow these safe steps. In case of severe bleeding, call the emergency services immediately. Protect your hands and apply pressure directly to the wound. If an object is embedded in the wound, don't remove it. Instead, apply pressure around the injury. Help the injured person lie down and raise the affected area above the heart to slow blood flow. Keep them warm and wait for help to arrive. If you find yourself in the right place at the right time, be prepared to save a life and follow these safe steps. For more life-saving advice, visit safesteps.com.
All right, that's how we should handle severe bleeding cases. So again, just a reminder to everyone, today's session is on first aid, and this year's theme for World First Aid Day is Be a First Aid Hero at School and in your community. And again, I will be sharing with you the agenda for today. First, we'll be having we'll be sharing with you what is epilepsy, because we are having a collaboration with Epilepsy Council of Malaysia. First, we'll be addressing about epilepsy, and this will be shared by Prof. Dr. Wong Sao Wei. And then we're going to be going on about how to give first aid specifically for epilepsy, all right? Pertolongan cemas untuk epilepsy. And this will be shared by Dr. Koo Ching Sung. And of course, the third, which is also another important thing to address, is about epilepsy and stigma within our society. This will be shared by Dr. Shirini, who will be sharing with you later on what kind of stigmas do epileptic patients experience here in Malaysia as well, and how do we break that chain of stigma. All right, and of course, as usual, after that, we will have a breakout session for participants and students to learn more and have experiential learning more about epilepsy. And of course, we will end it off with a Kahoot quiz and also at the closing ceremony as well. All right, I hope all of you are pumped up for today's session, because we are definitely happy and excited and can't wait to share with all of you the sessions that we have planned for you today. So without further ado, allow me to hand over the session over to Professor Dr. Wong Sao Wei, the Senior Consultant Physician from the Hospital Chancellor Tunku Mukhris. Over to you, Professor.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? Selamat petang. Dah makan ke belum? Sudah ya? Rasa mengantuk tak? Mengantuk? Tak. Kalau tak mengantuk, saya nak buat satu exercise dulu ya. Apa exercise yang kita nak buat? Now, saya nak adik-adik angkat tangan kiri. Nampak tak? Angkat tangan kiri. Kemudian buat ni. Buat ni. Laju sikit, laju sikit, laju sikit. Kuat. Stop. Balik. Bagaimana kamu boleh mengawal pergerakan tangan tadi? Ya? Bagaimana kamu boleh mengawal pergerakan tangan tadi? Next slide please. Okey, hari ini kita akan cuba membongkar misteri dan rahsia apakah itu serangan sawan, apakah itu epilepsi dan apakah yang menyebabkan sawan dan epilepsi. Kemudian next slide, saya nak tanya, pernahkah adik-adik melihat seorang yang mengalami serangan sawan? Angkat tangan ya kalau pernah lihat. Pernah tak? Oh, ada juga ya. Okey. Tengok ya video ini, pesakit itu sedang mengalami serangan sawan ya. Tengok lagi. Itu ya, serangan sawan itu. Nah, bila adik nampak serangan sawan itu, rasa apa? Ya, boleh tulis ya respon adik. Rasa apa jikalau nampak seseorang itu mengalami serangan sawan? Adakah rasa takut? Adakah rasa panik? Ya, boleh tulis dalam chat. Saya nak tahu apakah rasa adik-adik ya. Okay, next please. Sebelum kita mengenali apa itu sawan, kita kena tahu apa itu otak ya, sebab sawan itu berasal usul dari otak ya. Dan otak kita ada banyak sel saraf ya atau neuron. Ya, sel saraf kita ada berapa banyak tahu tak dalam badan kita? Dalam otak kita. Ya, ada berpuluh ke, beratus ke, beribu ke, berjuta ke sel saraf? Boleh tak tulis respon? Saya nak tengok sikit. Ya, berapa banyak sel saraf kita ada dalam otak? Dan sel saraf kita, fungsi utama ialah menjana impuls elektrik supaya kita boleh mengawal pergerakan seperti tadi. Ingat lagi, kamu boleh kawal cepat atau lambat, kuat atau lemah. Ya, kamu boleh mengawal pemikiran sendiri, perasaan, kesedaran dan deria kepada luar. Betul? Ya, semua ini dalam kawalan kamu. Sebab impuls dari otak kita memberi kawalan itu. Ya, tadi kamu adik-adik buat macam ini, ada kawalan, terkawal ya. Dan penjanaan impuls atau gelombang otak ini bergantung kepada beberapa faktor. Nombor satu, saluran ion ya dalam sel saraf atau neuron. Kedua, neurotransmitter atau bahan kimia dalam sel saraf. Ketiga, apa yang berlaku di sekeliling sel saraf itu, keadaan sekeliling sel saraf itu. Keempat, sel-sel yang berkaitan dengan saraf seperti astroglia ya, ada sel lain di dalam otak kita, bukan saja sel saraf ya. Semua ini berfungsi untuk mengawal ya apa yang saya telah nyatakan tadi. Dan sel saraf kita ada badan ya yang menjana impuls. Sel saraf kita ada akson yang mentransmisikan impuls, dan sel saraf kita ada penghujung akson yang menentukan sama ada gelombang otak itu pergi ke sel saraf yang kedua atau pergi ke otot kita ya. Next slide please. So sel saraf otak kita ada berbilion-bilion sel saraf. Kita sangat kaya sebenarnya ya, berbilion-bilion sel saraf dalam otak ya. Next slide. Okey, so bagaimana kita boleh menjana gelombang otak dalam sel saraf, gelombang impuls ya dalam sel saraf itu? Biasanya sel saraf selaput saraf itu ada di luar selaput dan di dalam selaput ada garam galian natrium dan kalium ya. So kebanyakan masa charge di luar sel saraf ialah positif kerana banyak natrium di luar sel dan kurang natrium di dalam sel ya, dan di dalam sel charge kita ialah negatif ya. Tetapi jikalau terdapat rangsangan kepada sel saraf itu, saluran natrium akan buka ya, seperti yang ditunjukkan di sebelah kanan. Saluran natrium akan buka, dan selepas pembukaan saluran natrium, semua charge positif natrium akan masuk ke dalam sel saraf, menyebabkan pertukaran charge di dalam sel saraf itu menjadi positif ya. Itu yang menjana apa yang kita panggil potensi aksi ya. Next slide please. Potensi aksi ya, yang di sebelah kiri di mana permukaan sel di dalam sel itu charge menjadi positif dari negatif, dan potensi aksi ini akan bergerak sepanjang akson saraf, ya, bergerak sepanjang akson saraf untuk memberi maklumat kepada saraf yang kedua atau memberi maklumat kepada otot kita supaya bergerak. Ya, itu asas saintifik macam mana kita boleh mengawal pergerakan kita tadi, ya. Next slide please. Dan di penghujung saraf itu ada bahan-bahan kimia yang menentukan sama ada gelombang elektrik itu bergerak kepada saraf lain atau berhenti kat situ, ya. Jikalau bahan kimia itu jenis bahan kimia yang merangsang, ya, dia akan membawa gelombang elektrik itu ke saraf yang kedua atau membawa gelombang elektrik itu ke otot kita. Jikalau bahan kimia itu atau neurotransmitter itu menghalang, ya, transmisi kemudian impulse elektrik itu atau gelombang elektrik itu akan berhenti, ya. So di dalam badan kita ada dua jenis sistem yang mengawal, ya, dan biasanya dua-dua sistem ini seimbang. Next slide please. Kedua-dua sistem ini seimbang dan adik-adik boleh berlaku aktiviti secara terkawal sebab dia seimbang dan adik boleh mengawal kelakuan, pertuturan, pergerakan, perasaan adik-adik, ya. So dia dalam keadaan yang keseimbang. Tetapi jikalau terdapat ketidakseimbangan seperti berikut, di mana bahan sistem merangsang itu melebihi sistem menghalang, ya, kita akan dapat sawan. So sebenarnya sesiapa sahaja, ya, antara kita boleh kena serangan sawan jikalau bahan kimia atau sistem perangsang kita melebihi sistem menghalang, ya, dalam otak kita. Terutamanya jikalau ambang sawan itu menyebabkan ambang sawan menjadi rendah. So sesiapa antara kita boleh mendapat serangan sawan jikalau keadaan perangsang melebihi penghalang, ya, dalam badan kita. Next please. So serangan sawan secara saintifik amat mudah difahami. Dia melibatkan impuls atau gelombang elektrik yang keterlaluan, ya, di mana ketidakseimbangan perangsang melebihi penghalang dan itu mengganggu aktiviti normal dalam badan yang menyebabkan pergerakan atau pertuturan atau kelakuan yang tidak dikawal, ya. So semasa sawan itu pesakit itu tidak dapat mengawal pergerakan mereka dan sebab itulah, ya, serangan sawan itu ada orang yang rasa apa yang telah berlaku pada pesakit itu kerana nampak sudah tidak normal, ya, kelakuan dia, pertuturan dia, pemikiran dia masa itu sudah luar biasa daripada yang biasa. Sebab itu ramai orang takut, ya, bila nampak serangan sawan. Tapi ada asas saintifik dia. Next one please. So apa yang berlaku sebelum sawan? Biasanya ada pesakit yang merasa sakit kepala, rasa loya atau letih, ada kadang-kadang kanak-kanak juga berasa hyperaktif atau yang lain pula berasa diam diri. Ada pesakit yang mungkin boleh tahu, ya, oh mungkin dia akan sawan, tapi ada yang juga tidak dapat rasa dia akan dapat sawan. Ya, tapi semasa sawan pergerakan yang di luar kawalan berlaku seperti yang saya nyatakan tadi. Pergerakan di luar kawalan berlaku sebab rangsangan elektrik yang berlebihan pada otak, ya. Dan biasanya rangsangan ini sementara sahaja, berlaku kurang dari 5 minit dan dia akan berhenti sendiri. Sebab apa? Ya, sebab badan kita ada, ingat lagi, penghalang, ya, sistem penghalang yang akan cuba menghalang, ya, gelombang yang terlalu itu daripada berlebihan lagi. So badan kita cuba balancekan, ya, yang terangsang terlebih supaya berhentikan. Sebab itu sawan berlaku kurang dari 5 minit. Dan sebab itu juga murid-murid tidak perlu panik, ya, dan takut sama ada orang yang dapat serangan sawan itu akan mati. Jikalau dapat melakukan first aid dengan betul. Ya, nanti akan diterangkan oleh doktor-doktor seterusnya dan juga fasilitator hari pagi ini yang hebat-hebat, petang ini ya, yang hebat-hebat. Dan selepas sawan itu berhenti sendiri, biasanya pesakit mungkin boleh rasa sakit kepala, terlalu letih atau tidur. Ya, dan tidak ingat apa yang berlaku pada mereka. Sebab itulah rasa ajaib juga kenapa kamu berlaku tak normal dan tak ingat ya. Dan itulah yang menyebabkan banyak stigma kepada penyakit epilepsi yang akan diterangkan oleh Dr. Syerini nanti. Next slide please. So sawan itu boleh kita bahagikan kepada sawan yang bermula dari satu bahagian otak atau sawan permulaan fokal atau sawan yang bermula dari kedua-dua belah otak ya, menyeluruh ya. Dua jenis sawan atau jikalau kita tidak pasti tidak diketahui ya. So sangat mudah ya klasifikasi sawan, jenis sawan kita. Next please. Ini ialah sawan ya, tengok baik-baik. Itu tangan dia naik, tangan pesakit ini naik atas, itu ialah sejenis sawan ya yang menyeluruh. Okay, next please. Ini juga sejenis sawan. Ya, pesakit ini jatuh. Next one please. Ini sawan yang kurang ketara ya. Dia sedang meniup tissue paper, kemudian tiba-tiba berhenti bila dia sawan pesakit ini. Ya, lihat baik-baik. Dah berhenti. Ini pun sawan. Next please. Atau ini ya, di mana pesakit ini hanya mengelip kelopak mata saja. Itu pun sejenis sawan. So sawan itu bukan satu yang menakutkan sebenarnya ya. Dia hanya gejala di mana terdapat terlalu banyak gelombang atau aktiviti abnormal di dalam otak. Ya, itu sahaja yang menyebabkan semua pergerakan ini di luar kawal. Ya, next please. Ini sawan fokal ya, di mana pesakit ini kurang sedar dan dia bergerak-gerak. Ya, dia bergerak-gerak, lihat baik-baik. Dia kurang sedar. Itu saja. Ya, sawan dia. Itu pun sejenis sawan juga ya. Di mana tangan kanan kiri dia bergerak dan dia kurang sedar walaupun dia boleh lihat ya. Right? Okay. Dan dia gerak-gerak tangan ya. Ini adalah sejenis sawan juga yang fokal dari sebelah satu bahagian otak ya, di dalam otak ya. Next one. So tetapi bukan semua benda yang bergerak tiba-tiba luar kawal itu sawan ya. Ada sangat common ya di kalangan kanak-kanak di sekolah, terutamanya semasa dalam perhimpunan ya, pengsan, di mana pelajar berdiri terlalu lama, keadaan panas, tak bergerak, tiba-tiba pengsan ya. Tapi first aid dia sama juga ya, dia akan berhenti sendiri ya. Itu ialah pengsan. Ataupun kadang-kadang saya lihat macam begini, daydreaming. Orang ingat macam tadi ya, nampak tadi murid yang meniup tissue paper itu, kalau tidak tahu itu mungkin ingat dia daydreaming ya tadi. Okay, next please. Next slide please. Oh, ini pesakit ini dia bergerak, lihat baik-baik. Tetapi pergerakan itu bukan tidak terkawal ya. Pergerakan dia bukan tidak terkawal sebab bila kita membuat ujian gelombang elektrik pada otak dia, tidak ada apa-apa discharge yang abnormal yang keluar. So ini bukan sawan walaupun lihat macam sawan ya. So ini ialah peniru sawan, sejenis peniru sawan. Okay, next please. Dari lama dulu ya, John Hewlin Jackson sudah tahu ya, 1873 tahun ya, dia sudah tahu epilepsi itu disebabkan oleh discharge dari otak. Tidak ada apa-apa yang lain yang menyebabkan sawan, bukan dirasuk hantu, bukan dirasuk orang halus ya. Dulu lagi sudah tahu. Okay, next please. Next please. Ya. So apa itu epilepsi? Tadi saya cakap sawan kan. Epilepsi beza sikit dari sawan. Ya, epilepsi ialah jikalau otak kita lebih cenderung untuk sawan, ya, daripada biasa. Ya. Jikalau otak kita sangat cenderung untuk sawan, itu dipanggil epilepsi. So apa definisi itu? mungkin sawan sudah berlaku 2 kali tanpa sebab, ya, lebih 2 atau lebih kali tanpa sebab, atau sawan sekali dan risiko dia untuk berulang lagi tinggi. Itu dipanggil epilepsi. So, sawan adalah salah satu gejala sahaja, ya, dan epilepsi itu penyakit yang feature dia ialah sawan. Okay? Dan sawan bukan selalu disebabkan oleh penyakit epilepsi. Ya, next please. So, apakah penyebab sawan? So, antara semua sebab ini, semua keadaan ini boleh menyebabkan sawan, seperti bila kadar gula rendah, di mana neuron kita menjadi lebih senang untuk dirangsangkan, atau kadar kalsium dalam darah rendah, di mana juga saraf-saraf kita lebih cenderung untuk sawan, ya, lebih senang untuk action potential untuk bergerak, kadar natrium dalam darah yang rendah, atau di mana ada apa-apa kecederaan pada otak seperti meningitis, jangkitan otak, pendarahan otak, atau pembikinan otak tidak normal, ya, dari kandungan bayi lagi. Jikalau pembikinan otak tidak normal, itu pun boleh menyebabkan kecenderungan untuk sawan lebih tinggi, atau disebabkan faktor genetik, ya, atau kecederaan otak. Next please. Apakah penyebab epilepsi? Ya, epilepsi jikalau kecenderungan untuk sawan lebih tinggi. Next please. So, kecenderungan itu tidak tinggi jikalau saya puasakan kamu dan kamu gula darah rendah dan sawan. Ya, itu bukan epilepsi. Ataupun jikalau kamu kekurangan garam dalam badan untuk sementara waktu dan sawan lepas hiponatremia. Ya, itu pun bukan epilepsi. Tapi jikalau kecenderungan itu berpanjangan seperti di dalam selepas jangkitan otak, selepas pendarahan otak, ataupun disebabkan oleh pembikinan otak yang kurang elok, itu boleh menyebabkan epilepsi. Ya, so ada sedikit perbezaan antara epilepsi dengan sawan. Next please. So ini, ya, contoh di mana pembikinan otak, satu belah otak, ya, di sebelah kiri nampak besar. Itu ialah pembikinan otak kurang sempurna yang meningkatkan kecenderungan untuk sawan. So pesakit ini mengalami penyakit epilepsi disebabkan oleh hemimegaencephaly, ya, kita panggil pembikinan otak yang kurang sempurna. Next please. Ataupun jikalau ada faktor genetik, pesakit ini ada satu kromosom yang seperti gelang, itu pun meningkatkan kecenderungan dia untuk mendapat sawan dan dia mengalami penyakit epilepsi juga. Next please. Ataupun jikalau ada jangkitan selaput otak, ya, nampak selaput otak itu kotor kan, ya, selaput otak jernih, ya, dia kotor, itu pun boleh menyebabkan selepas itu kecenderungan untuk sawan tinggi dan menyebabkan epilepsi. Ya, next please. So di kalangan pesakit epilepsi, jikalau dengan rawatan yang baik, kebanyakan daripada pesakit epilepsi boleh tiada sawan, ya, tidak ada dapat sawan lagi. Tetapi kadang-kala pesakit itu lebih cenderung untuk sawan, terutamanya jikalau terlalu letih, atau kekurangan tidur, atau tekanan emosi, atau apabila mereka demam atau kurang sihat. Atau ada setengah-setengah epilepsi, cahaya berkelepan juga boleh mencetus sawan dalam pesakit yang mengalami epilepsi. Ya, so ini adalah antara pencetus-pencetus. Biasanya bersukan tidak menyebabkan epilepsi, ya, sewaktu sukan itu tidak menyebabkan epilepsi. Tetapi jikalau terlalu letih malam itu, ya, selepas bersukan terlalu leka, itu boleh, ya, menyebabkan epilepsi datang, sawan dia datang, ya, kadang-kala. Okay, next please. Okey, apa rumusan pagi ini, petang ini? Tahukah adik-adik apakah itu serangan sawan? Apa yang menyebabkan sawan? Ya, gelombang elektrik yang kurang normal dan berlebihan, ya, dan tidak melebihi yang sistem menghalang, ya. Apakah epilepsi? Epilepsi ialah bila kecenderungan untuk sawan itu tinggi, ya. Dan apakah sebab sawan saya sudah bincangkan tadi. Okey, itu sahaja. Terima kasih.
Alright, terima kasih Prof. Wong. Harap anda pelajar-pelajar semua dapat mengetahui lebih. Kita ada guest special ni, profesor ni, untuk ajar anda semua tentang apa itu sawan dan epilepsi. So harap-harap pelajar-pelajar dan murid-murid dapat belajar benda yang baru mengenai benda yang mungkin kita tidak selalu kenal ataupun biasa temui di dalam kehidupan kita. Dan apabila sekarang anda sudah temui, jangan risau, jangan takut, sebab sekarang kita tahu apa sebabnya dan bagaimana ia berlaku. Alright, sekarang seterusnya saya untuk memperkenalkan pertolongan cemas untuk sawan, bagaimana nak menangani apabila sawan berlaku. Sekarang saya menjemput Dr. Ku Ching Sung untuk menyampaikan sesi seterusnya. Over to you, Dr. Ku.
Hi, good afternoon and selamat sejahtera. Vanakkam, ni hao, to all the participants, speakers and moderators today. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the organizing team members on successfully organizing this very meaningful event. And I'm thankful to be invited as one of the speakers. So my name is Dr. Ku. I'm the consultant neurologist from the UKM Medical Center. So this morning you have Dr. S, Dr. Sumita. So you can call me Dr. K, and K for K-pop. Okay, next slide, please. So I will be talking the first aid for seizures. And I think the outline of this topic will be devoted into four parts. So the first is the importance of a seizure first aid, then followed by how to perform it, followed by the do's and don'ts. And last but not least, if we have time, we will talk about some miscellaneous topics. So the first and foremost, why is seizure first aid so important? So is it important because we want to be like Doctor Strange, or we want to become like the heroes in the Korean movies and the stars in the Flatliners movie? Yeah. Next slide, please. Okay, I want to introduce to all the students here a very important statement. Time is brain. As you can understand and learn from the previous speakers, Dr. Wong's presentation, that brain cells are many. And once you have a seizure attack, there's some degree of damage to the brain cells. So our aim as either a professional or a non-medical professional is to render first aid as immediately as possible to save someone's lives. So next slide, please. Seizures are common, ladies and gentlemen. So 1 out of 10 people may have a seizure during his or her lifetime. It may occur at any time, in a classroom, in the bathroom, in the market, the shopping mall, anywhere. So when that happens, you might be the first person to respond. And that person having a seizure really counts on you, how you could save him. So you could prevent somebody from being hurt, and you could potentially save someone's life. So the knowledge that you're going to learn and acquire from today's topic will be of very, very paramount importance. Next slide, please. Okay, so I think now it's almost 3 o'clock. I guess most of you are tired, exhausted, but in the meantime, you want to learn something and you are very excited. So I know there'll be a lot of information today, and I can see from the chat box that every one of you is so excited and you want to learn something, and you have posted so many questions. But today, what I want to learn, a very important take-home message or the steps to the first aid for seizures would be just 3 S. If you can't remember anything, please remember these 3 things, 3 S. Stay, save, and sight. I repeat, stay, save, and sight. Okay, next, please. So I could tell you a little bit more about these 3 things. I think some of my slides are repetition of Dr. Sumita's slides, but again, I think some of you are new, so I just want to repeat this so that you could understand the importance of each step. So stay, what does that mean? When someone is having a seizure, you and your friends must stay calm as you can. Yeah? Relax, take a deep breath, do not panic. Yeah? So talk calmly and reassuringly to the person during and after the seizure. That is very, very helpful. And stay calm to check for any medical IDs or any alert bracelets, because the patient might be carrying a card telling that a certain medical condition that the patient has. So while you are remaining calm and adjusting all the important steps, never forget to time when the seizure begins, which I'm going to tell you why this is so important. So time the seizure, recording. This is very important because this will determine when you're going to call for emergency medical attention. Okay, so most of the seizures will last around 2 to 3 minutes. So anything more than 5 would alert you to call for help. Okay, next slide, please. The next S is safe. So make sure that you move away all the harmful sharp objects surrounding the patients having a seizure. And if patient is confused, unable to respond to you, make sure you clear everything, all the dangerous objects surrounding it, and then you have to make sure that they are not in a very dangerous condition, such as a very busy traffic, subway platform at a height, and so on and so forth. Then, if possible, try to steer the patient to a safe place and ask for help from the nearby people. Next. Okay. When we talk about site, it's actually rolling to another site. But prior to that, make sure that you are able to loosen the tight clothing. For example, a tie surrounding the neck for males. If they are aware, please help them to sit in a safe place. And if they are at risk or immediately having a seizure, please ease the person to the floor. Put something soft and flat, like a folded jacket or the shirt, under his or her head, so that the patient doesn't hurt him or herself. Turn the patient, roll the patient to one side, so that side means to one side. Why we are doing that? Because of 2 main purposes. First is to help the patient breathe easily. And secondly, we want to prevent the patient's saliva from blocking the airways. So during the convulsion, we must take note that sometimes the patient may seem to have stopped breathing. So this is because of the contraction that is happening to the breathing muscles. So usually you are not required to do anything immediately, meaning you do not need to give a rescue breath. And after the seizure ceases or stops, the patient usually resumes breathing quite rather soon. So next, please. So I've covered the very important steps, 3S, stay safe and sight. Now I'm going to tell you about some of the do's and don'ts during the first aid for the seizures. Okay, number 1, for the do's. So next slide, please. So these do's basically are to tell you when you should alert the emergency help by calling the medical emergency. So if the patient has never had a seizure before, if this is a first-time seizure, please alert the medical team. Number 2, if the patient has difficulty in breathing, he doesn't restore the breathing after the seizure, and the patient doesn't wake up, doesn't regain consciousness after the seizure, please also alert the medical emergency. As I said earlier, usually the seizure lasts about 2 minutes, to 3 max. But if the seizure lasts longer than 5 minutes, please call for help. Number 4, if you have another seizure and another seizure, followed by the first one, you see there's a repetitive seizures, and you think that you can't handle and something is dangerous, please alert also the medical emergency. If someone's injured and if this seizure happens in the water, some dangerous places. And also if the patient has some forms of health conditions, for example, heart disease, diabetes, or even if it happens to a pregnant ladies, please also get emergency help. Next. So these are the questions would probably come out from your Kahoot and quizzes later. So please take note. So there are 4 don'ts that I want to share. The first one, do not restrain and do not hold somebody down or try to stop the seizures. Yeah, because by doing that, we could injure the person. Yeah, probably you can injure the muscles, you could probably break somebody's bones or joints. So never try to do that. Yeah. This reminds me of my first seizure. Not my first seizure, I mean, my first encounter with someone having a seizure. I still remember that. That happens during my high school. Suddenly we were having a class on the Kemaran Hidup. Suddenly my friend just fell down from the chair and having a seizure. And the first thing that came across my mind was to find something to put inside the mouth, as what we watch from the movie. So this is absolutely wrong. Do not put anything into the person's mouth. This could injure the teeth, jaw, and you could further cause damage to the patients. Do not try to do any CPR. Yeah, as I said earlier, usually the patient will regain consciousness and breathing as usual after the seizure stops. And of course, do not offer any water, food when someone is having a seizure, having a fit, until he or she is fully alert. Okay, next please. Okay, I think we have some time for the miscellaneous. I think even though they are called miscellaneous topics, but they are equally important. Next. Okay, I'm going to, I think just now, Professor Dr. Wong Xiaowei has touched a little bit on the classifications on the seizures. Seizures, there are many patterns of the seizures. So when we talk about the seizures without a change in awareness, means that patient remains aware. When you ask questions, the person can respond to you appropriately, correctly. Yeah? This is just a form of seizure without impaired awareness. So the typical examples will include simple, focal, or myoclonic jerks that I think you have seen earlier from the videos from the previous speaker. So usually during this type of seizures, you are not required to render any form of first aid seizures. What you need to do, just stay calm, be with the person, yeah, reassure him or her, then stay until he or she feels completely fine and normal. Never leave him or her until you think that the condition is settling. Next,
Doctor,
please.
Yeah, just kind of reminder of 5 more minutes.
I have how many more minutes?
5.
Okay, sure. So if you have a seizure with impaired awareness, yeah, like the complex partial seizures, or maybe many clusters of absence, the one that with a lot of loss of awareness seizures, what you need to do is just also to be with the patient, yeah, observe, and to make sure that it doesn't go into generalized tonic-clonic seizures. The next, please. Okay, so seizures with impaired awareness, meaning that this patient is not aware. So basically, again, you stay with the patient, accompany the patient, time the seizure, and more or less, it will be the same first aid steps as what I highlighted before, the 3S. So the next, please. Of course, if you know that this patient has some rescue medications, for example, the one that I've highlighted, midazolam, diazepam, it can be given in many ways, either under the tongue, between the cheek, spray into the nostril, and even you can insert into the rectum. But this has to be educated by a health professional, and this medication should be prescribed by the health professional before you try to do that. And you need to have some form of knowledge how to do that. And some of these medications in different forms may not be available in most of the centers. So this always consult the doctor. Next, please. Okay, I'm not sure if I should talk about this. I mean, just a brief one. For some seizures, which are very, very difficult to be controlled with medication, we have a surgical device that is implanted beneath the skin. So usually when the patient has a seizure, we could use the magnet that is available that usually is kept in a handy place for us to use. So I think I don't have time to explain that, but again, this is something that we need to know as a rescue way of helping somebody having a seizure. Next, please. So after a seizure, make sure that you stay with him, check everything is all right. How do we check? We ask the patient's name, where he is now, whether the patient is rented, what time of the day it is, and what has happened. Never leave him or her alone. Yeah. Again, make sure that everything's all right, the parameters are okay. In doubt, always call for emergency help. Next, please. So you can, for what I've spoken just now, you can log on to this website, and it has a very useful leaflet containing all this information about what I've spoken earlier. Yeah, so you can retract the information from this website, which is the Epilepsy Foundation website. Next, please. Okay, before I end, I would like you to listen and watch this video. I think this is a very, very interesting video made by the Epilepsy Foundation about how to perform first aid procedures.
Guys, give us some room. He's having a seizure.
Give me some towels.
Okay. Stay calm. It's going to be fine. Help me get him on his side. All right, listen up, fellas. Before we practice, I want to go over a couple of things. First, I'd like to welcome back Michael. Good to have you back. We all know Michael has epilepsy, and he shared his seizure with us in the game. He has something he wants to say.
Yeah, thank you all for supporting me, and thanks to Coach for knowing what to do. I'm sorry if my seizure scared you guys. It could be scary for me too, but what's even more scary is if people didn't know what to do.
So today, we are going to learn seizure first aid thanks to the Epilepsy Foundation. We're teammates, right? We take care of one another, we count on one another, and when anyone with epilepsy has a seizure in front of you, they're your teammate, and they're counting on you. So, first, stay with him. Okay, stay calm and keep others around you calm and out of the way. Protect him, keep him safe. It's also important to remember that the person having the seizure should be lying down and that there is nothing harmful in their way. Turn them on their side and support their head so that they're not banging it and so they don't choke. Never put anything in their mouths and do not hold them down. Time the seizure till the very end. Okay? Knowing how long the seizure lasts is important information for the doctors to know. If the seizure lasts more than 5 minutes, call 911. When you see somebody having a seizure, you're going to feel a little powerless. But if you protect them and if you stick with them by their side, you're doing the right thing. Okay? All right, let's practice this.
Bulldogs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bulldogs! Go. Yeah.
All right. I hope, doctor, you want to say anything? You're on mute, doctor. Sorry. You are currently on mute.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, which pretty summarizes what I have spoken earlier. So remember, all of us are teammates, and the person having a seizure really counts on you. So with that, I would like to say thank you, and I wish you a lovely evening learning all these materials from our speakers and also your mentors. Stay safe. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Koo, for the wonderful session earlier. I hope that all students and participants are now better able to manage cases where if they do experience people experiencing seizures in front of them, you will know what are the three main steps for you to take to ensure that your friend or a stranger is safe from harm as well. Next up, we'll be moving on to Dr. Shirini, who is a consultant physician and neurologist at SJMC, Subang Jaya Medical Center, who will be sharing with us what is epilepsy and the stigma that people with epilepsy faces in general, and also specifically as well within our Malaysian community. And with that, I hand over the session to Dr. Shirini. Are you there?
I'm here, Gerald. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be speaking in both Bahasa and English. If I know Mandarin, I would have spoken in Mandarin, but I don't. So I'm glad that, my first two colleagues have done a wonderful job trying to educate everyone that's here today. Okay, apakah itu epilepsi, what is epilepsy, dan juga kita dah tengok video dari Dr. Koo Ching Soon, ya. I don't know how you feel about watching that video. I feel very touched because kenapa you all ada kat sini hari ni, kan? You all semua, every one of you sekarang dah secondary school, kan? Dah boleh berfikir sendiri, dah boleh pandai buat kawan dan dah independent in a way. Mengapa kita ada di sini? Because kita nak belajar pasal epilepsi dan kita juga nak belajar macam mana kita boleh bantu kawan-kawan kita ataupun ahli keluarga kita yang ada epilepsi. So kita dah belajar bahagian yang kompleks sains semua tu, my colleagues dah buat. So sekarang ni saya nak bercakap pasal epilepsi dan stigma. So my slide will have both English and also bahasa. Next. So first of all, apakah itu stigma? What is stigma? Okay, so saya tengok semua orang ada kat sini hari ni. Semua buka video, saya boleh tengok seorang-seorang kat sini. So kalau boleh semua buka video, saya nak tengok muka seorang-seorang kat sini because saya nak tahu siapa yang dengar pasal epilepsi hari ni. Okay, so what is stigma? Stigma ialah tanggapan negatif yang melampau ke atas seseorang oleh masyarakat kerana seseorang itu dianggap berbeza dari norma. Sama ada disebabkan penyakit atau penampilan fizikal atau cara pemikiran atau tekanan mental. So extreme disapproval of person by society just because of whether their physical appearance, their ideas, whether due to their disease or mental illness. Dan persepsi kita mungkin berdasarkan prejudice atau prasangka, pertimbangan yang tidak rasional yang telah dibentuk oleh masyarakat sebelum ini. So what is prejudice? Why do we have a certain judgment to others? Because the society probably has set a certain standard, and if we do not meet that standard, then we are not considered as normal. Next. But the thing you need to ask yourself is, next, what is normal? So apakah normal itu untuk kita fit into the society? Okay, next. So saya ada 3 gambar di sini. Kita diajar, okey, setiap manusia ada 2 kaki, 2 tangan, dan setiap manusia kena berjalan, tak boleh duduk atas wheelchair. Kalau dia tak ada 2 kaki, 2 tangan ataupun dia tak boleh berjalan, dia duduk atas wheelchair, kita sedar kata dia tak normal. Tapi siapa kita untuk kata ini bukan normal? Is it because they don't fit in our society, because kita tak membuatkan society kita mudah untuk mereka hidup dalam society kita, sebab tu kita kata dia tak normal. Dan lagi satu, kalau kita tengok gambar sebelah tu, banyak tattoo, banyak piercing and all that. Mungkin bukan anda, tapi mungkin sesetengah golongan masyarakat di negara kita fikir, oh kalau kita tengok orang macam ni, dia ni mesti jahat, bawa gun bunuh orang semua tu. Tapi kalau kita tengok di negara barat ke atau negara-negara lain ke, mungkin orang ni sebenarnya sangat baik. Dia ni pijat semut pun tak mati, tapi dia cuma suka ada tattoo. So kita selalu judge people by their, in this case, physical appearance. Tetapi bila kita cakap pasal epilepsi, you dah dengar speaker kita, Profesor Dr. Wong Sawe cakap kan, epilepsi tu orang tu mungkin nampak normal kat kita, tetapi kita tak tahu pasal masalah mereka. Bila yang mereka nampak tak normal, bila mereka dapat sawan. So bila mereka dapat sawan, macam video Dr. Ku Ching Sun letak tadi, apa yang budak tu kata dekat kawan-kawan dia? I'm sorry I scare you because sometimes I feel scared too. It must be scary for you seeing me having a seizure. So siapa yang tak pernah nampak sawan, kalau first time nampak orang tarik kancing gigi semua tu, mesti you akan rasa takut. Sebab tu you ada di sini hari ni, because jangan panik. Kita kena belajar kenapa pesakit dapat serangan sawan dan apa yang kita boleh buat untuk tolong. Next. Okay, bila kita bercakap pasal stigma, first ialah bagaimana cycle stigma ni berlaku. Nombor satu ialah start dengan labeling. Next. Apa maksudnya labeling? So kita kata, saya bagi example untuk epilepsi ya. Kita tak tahu pasal epilepsi sebelum ni. Kita nampak orang tu dapat sawan. Oh, apa ni? Sawan tu apa? Banyak tadi kat chat box tu. Semua pesakit epilepsi ni mungkin dia orang punya IQ semua rendah lah. Sebab dia, kenapa? Mesti otak dia tak betul, sebab tu dia dapat tarik-tarik macam tu kancing gigi. Next. Disebabkan kita kata dia ni IQ dia maybe tak normal, dan kita pun anggap dalam kelas kalau kita ada kawan-kawan yang pesakit epilepsi, kita ingat dia lambat faham dalam kelas, mesti prestasi pelajaran dia merosot dan dia tak boleh berjaya macam you. Okay, next. Tetapi bila kita next. Bila kita beranggapan sebegitu, kita dah label dia, kita dah stereotypekan dia kan, dan kita buat jadi pemisah antara dia dan kita. So dia tak geng lah dengan kita, okay? So there's a division between us and them. And kita anggap dia tu low social status dari kita. Maksudnya, kalau semua pesakit epilepsi ni, otak dia tak bagus sangat, dia tak boleh masuk setengah sekolah, dia tak boleh pegang jawatan penting di sekolah, tak boleh jadi prefect, tak boleh bersukan, tak boleh main football dengan kita, tak boleh masuk universiti, tak boleh mendapat peluang pekerjaan. So because of misconception, salah anggapan, next, disebabkan salah anggapan kita ini, kita sudah create satu diskriminasi yang tidak patutnya berlaku kepada pesakit epilepsi. So disebabkan kita yang tak faham, kita yang label mereka, dan kita menyebabkan dia diketepikan oleh masyarakat dan tidak mendapat hak yang adil sebagai manusia. Okay, next. Dan bagi anggapan saya, ialah stigma ini, discrimination ini hanya berlaku jika kita tidak faham. The lack of understanding on epilepsy. Next. So tadi video yang Dr. Ku Ching Su tunjuk yang last kali tu, next. Ada dua jenis stigma yang saya nak introduce to you. So lepas ni you all semua dah besar-besar kan, dah teenagers, so you all boleh faham semua ini. Ada dua jenis stigma, iaitu felt stigma dan lagi satu ialah enacted stigma. Apa itu felt stigma? The shame of being epileptic and the fear of encountering enacted stigma. So rasa malu sebab dia ada penyakit tu. Back to that video tadi, the first thing the boy kata, I'm sorry I had a seizure in front of you, I may have scared you, you must be worried about me. Sebab dia rasa dia yang menyusahkan orang, dia rasa dia yang menakutkan orang dengan penyakit dia. Dia sudah rasa macam tu, padahal he shouldn't feel that way. And then enacted stigma ialah diskriminasi yang berlaku ke atas dia. Dia, in his case, kawan-kawan dia semua tahu apa nak buat, semua gave him good support. Tapi kalau kita tak tahu pasal epilepsi, orang semua kata, apa tu, dia kena rasuk kot, kena rasuk kan. Lagi kecoh-kecoh, semua orang datang tengok dia dapat sawan. Lepas tu dia pun rasa malu. Esok tu dia pergi sekolah pun dia rasa malu. Okay, so this is the actual discrimination that happened. That is enacted stigma. Next. So bila ada discrimination dan misconception, dia akan ada impact untuk pesakit epilepsi. Okay, dan bukan untuk pesakit sahaja dan juga kepada keluarga mereka juga. Next. Dan kita tahu bertahun-tahun ya pesakit epilepsi cuba berlawan dengan stigma yang diletakkan ke atas mereka. Kita tahu, doktor-doktor di sini tahu sebab kita tengok pesakit epilepsi. Mereka beritahu kita bagaimana mereka dilayan di tempat kerja, di sekolah oleh kawan-kawan. So mereka pun rasa rendah diri, low self-esteem, mereka takut tak ada orang nak have relationship with them, tak nak kahwin dengan mereka, mereka rasa mereka tak boleh dapat anak, and mereka pun rasa kemurungan. So macam-macam jadi terhadap mereka. Next. Dan ini bukan saja cakap-cakap ya, ini memang fakta. Bila satu group of neurologists membuat kajian, ini kajian di Kelantan saja. Mereka buat survey, and these are survey on people yang have high awareness of epilepsy. Mereka tahu apa itu epilepsi. Bila mereka tengok, bila mereka tanya beberapa question, and these are the result. 20% tak nak anak mereka be friends with people with epilepsy. And this study was done in year 2000, not long ago. 48% will not allow their children to marry people with epilepsy. 58% thought that people with epilepsy shouldn't have jobs like other people. Why? Is it because you don't understand? You think you understand epilepsy, but mungkin you sebenarnya tak faham. Next. So this is a saying from one author. He's actually a physician and also an author. Fear comes from the lack of knowledge and a state of ignorance. The best remedy for fear is to gain knowledge. Kalau you tak faham, you belajar. Kalau you takut dan you create ignorance, itu salah you, bukan salah orang yang dapat epilepsi. Kita kena belajar supaya kita faham. Next. So kita dah belajar hari ini, Profesor Wong Sawe dah explain to you apa itu epilepsi. Mari kita start dengan stigma dengan nama epilepsi itu sendiri. So epilepsi sebenarnya datang dari Greek verb. I suka history. I don't know whether you all suka history. Bila I belajar epilepsi, I suka belajar history dia. So Greek verb nama dia epilambanian. Tak tahulah I sebut betul ke tak kan. Maksudnya to be seized, to seize upon, to be overwhelmed by surprise. I.e. ditangkap, dikuasai, dirampas, diserang dengan secara tiba-tiba. Next. Tetapi disebabkan orang tak faham apa itu epilepsi, bertahun-tahun zaman ancient times lagi, even dalam classic ancient Chinese writing, mereka ada gelaran sendiri untuk epilepsi. Actually setiap negara ada history mereka untuk nama epilepsi, dan kebanyakannya kalau kita tengok history, nama untuk diorang panggil epilepsi sebelum kita datang word epilepsi ni semuanya agak negatif, ada negative connotations. Okay, so for example in this case the Chinese used to call them dianjian, and dian has been associated with madness, gila, and then kadang-kadang shamefulness. Kita orang Melayu, saya orang Melayu, pun sama juga, kita panggil, I ingat masa kecil-kecil dulu jiran I kata, anak orang itu ada sawan babi or gila babi. Okay, dan you know already the name is already not good enough. Okay, tak ada kena mengena dengan babi pun. Next. So next, so kita dah belajar hari ini sawan, kita panggil sawan. Epilepsi, Prof Wong dah bagi tahu, kalau Prof Wong Sawe dah bagi tahu, kalau kita asyik dapat sawan, kita panggil epilepsi, iaitu sudden abnormal electrical activity in the brain. Next. Now kita sekarang dah belajar hari ni, kita tak nak panggil dah sawan babi ke apa semua, tak ada, tak panggil dah benda tu ya. Kita panggil sawan ialah sawan atau epilepsy, fits or seizure. Alright. Now sekarang kita nak belajar apakah sebab sawan. Prof Wong juga dah bagi tahu kamu semua apa yang menyebabkan kita dapat sawan. Kalau kamu tengok gambar kat sini ni, belah kiri ni, siapa yang suka tengok Netflix macam saya, siapa kenal ni dari movie mana yang belah kiri ni? Sekarang Netflix tengah tunjuk. Kalau siapa boleh tulis kat chat box tu. Okay. Ini dari latest movie. Yes, betul Hasha. Conjuring ya, Conjuring yang the latest punya. Okay, so budak ini tengah dirasuk. Okay, so tengah dirasuk. So zaman dulu kita ingat bila kita dapat sawan tu, the act of getting a seizure tu macam kena rasuk. So gambar yang belah kanan tu, that's a painting of a priest trying to chase away the demon in someone's body. So orang tu tengah dapat attack dan kena rasuk. Sebenarnya dia tengah dapat sawan. So setiap kali orang dapat sawan, dia panggil priest datang untuk buang the demon. Next. Disebabkan kita ingat dia ni sakit sawan ni disebabkan demons. Kalau kita dah salah faham macam mana sawan tu berlaku, cara treatment pun jadi mengarut lah. Okay, so yang pertamanya panggil padri datang ataupun bomo datang nak halau hantu dalam badan, tapi sebenarnya dia dapat sawan. Sebab kadang-kadang dapat sawan tu nampak macam betul orang kena rasuk, sebenarnya bukan, dia kena sawan. Dan adalah kepercayaan tahyul seperti memasukkan budak dalam a hole in the tree, kononnya lepas masuk keluar sawan akan berhenti, membawa uncang sakti atau magic satchel, yang ada ubat-ubatan yang boleh buang sawan ataupun mengeluarkan darah dari tangan. Ini semua kepercayaan tahyul dan karut. That's not the way we treat epilepsy. Next. Yeah, the devil didn't make you do it, Shafizan. Next. So, right, the next one. This is actually a hypocrite. Oh, no. The one before, please. So, like I said, the slide before. Like I said, I suka history. So siapa ni? Ini ialah Hippocrates ya. Hippocrates, he's actually a Greek physician. Boleh dikatakan macam father of the god of medicine lah. In a way, dia telah menyumbang banyak contribution to medicine. In fact, kalau ada kat sini yang nak jadi doktor ya, kita kena ambil Hippocratic Oath. So Hippocratic Oath is named after him. Kita ambil sumpah supaya adalah beberapa yang kita kena yang kita kena janji yang untuk menjadi doktor, do no harm and all those things. So Hippocrates ni bijak, dia dari awal lagi 400 BC lagi dia dah kata epilepsy should not be treated by magic but by diet and drugs. But tak ada siapa nak dengar cakap dia. So epilepsy is not due to evil spirits and possessions by demon. Next. Sorry ya. So disebabkan orang tak nak dengar cakap dia, orang still fikir yang sawan ni disebabkan kena rasuk, kita pun banyak ada kepercayaan bomo, shaman, priest, ustaz datang kan. Tak salah kalau kita nak combine agama punya treatment dengan modern medicine. Tapi kalau panggil bomo yang tak bertauliah semua tu dah salah lah. Okay, so cara yang terbaik untuk merawat sawan ialah bukan melalui halau hantu. Next. Next. So sekarang kita tahu that epilepsy can be diagnosed correctly. Yang pasti kena jumpa doktor. Lepas jumpa doktor, doktor pun akan buat test. Okay? Lepas buat test, mungkin dia akan tengok gelombang otak yang macam Prof Wong Sawe dah explain. Kemudian mungkin kita nak ambil gambar kita punya brain dan kita tengok ada tak apa-apa dalam otak itu yang membuat sawan. Tapi tak semestinya. Sometimes otak tu boleh nampak normal. Next. Dan 70% ya, this is more than 50% of people with epilepsy can be treated with medication and can live normally. So nak kata semua pesakit epilepsi tu tak boleh hidup normal, itu salah. Next. So these are my points ya. So lagi satu, orang fikir all patients with epilepsy have lower IQ and slow learners. Do you think so? Kalau ya, kata ya. No, Muhammad Davud. Okay, next. Good, banyak betul no. Okay, no, because kita ada pesakit epilepsi yang telah berjaya dalam dunia, lebih baik dari kita. These are some example. Siapa tengok cerita Jumanji, mesti kenal kan Danny Glover. So dia dalam Jumanji, pelakon yang sangat successful. Vincent van Gogh, pelukis yang sangat popular, sangat historically very successful. Kemudian kita ada Prince, penyanyi. Kemudian kita ada 26 presidents of the United States of America, Teddy Roosevelt. And then kita ada Florence Griffith Joyner, Flojo, dia pelari, she set a world record for 100 meters and 200 meters in 1980s, okay? She had epilepsy. And also Lewis Carroll, Charles Dickens. Lewis Carroll is the famous author for Alice in Wonderland. Charles Dickens, your Christmas Carol, Scrooge, that's Charles Dickens. They all have epilepsy and they're all successful people. So next, fakta kita tu kena betul. Next. Majority of patients with epilepsy have normal RQ or even higher than normal. The majority of patients with epilepsy can achieve higher education, employ and succeed in their job. Next. I didn't put a slide on driving, but jika sawan kita is well controlled, if the patient's seizure is very well controlled, they are actually allowed to drive. Bukan semua pesakit epilepsi tak boleh drive. Dan juga bekerja, like I've mentioned. However, there are certain limitation. Tak banyak, tapi there are limitation that pesakit epilepsi tak boleh bekerja as. Okay, for example, unfortunately, pesakit epilepsi tak boleh jadi pilot, tak boleh kerja sebagai signalist dekat as a railway staff, tak boleh handle firearms, so tak boleh be in the armed forces, tak boleh drive heavy machineries, long distance lorry drivers, dia tak boleh jadi F1 driver atau professional boxing lah. So unfortunately, this one they cannot, but the rest they can. Next. More epilepsy facts. Next. Epilepsi bukanlah sejenis penyakit berjangkit. Bukan semua epilepsi disebabkan penyakit keturunan. So these are points you have to remember. Bukan semua jenis epilepsi disebabkan kecederaan otak yang sangat teruk. Tak semestinya. Okay, some people with epilepsy have normal mental status, normal brain just like you and me. Pesakit epilepsi boleh berkahwin, mengandung dan mendapat zuriat dan anak yang sihat. They can have a family. They can have a family, get married, everything just like us. Pesakit epilepsi boleh bukanlah sejenis penyakit gangguan mental atau emosi. It's not the same as depression, anxiety, mental illness. Epilepsy is not under that category. And the next one is pesakit epilepsi boleh aktif secara fizikal dan bersukan dengan kamu. Next. So apa yang you boleh buat dengan kawan-kawan yang ada sakit epilepsi? Banyak. Okay, so bila waktu panggil sekarang apa PE but waktu exercise so sekarang you can do a lot of things. You can play badminton with them, you can go out with them and play PJK, yes, play bowling, cricket, dancing, fencing, hockey, golf, long jumps, ping pong, running, anything you can play. So why you want to isolate them? They can play with you, no problem. Next. There are actually medium risk leisure activities. Kena be careful kalau nak main. For example, pergi fishing sebab you seorang dalam boat, takut jatuh, kena sawan jatuh dalam air. So you need to have someone with you. Pergi swimming pun sama juga, especially air dalam and all those things. It's good to have someone with you. Wrestling, volleyball, skateboarding, semua tu takut head injury lah, jatuh kan. Next. But there's also high risk sports that we do not encourage or we don't allow our epilepsy patient to do. For example, boxing, mountain climbing, parachuting. So actually, you tengok the list is getting smaller and smaller. Tapi yang boleh buat ialah banyak. Next. So apa yang kita belajar hari ini ialah no epilepsy. Why you are here today bukannya nak ajar you all jadi neurologist, tapi kita nak you all tahu apa itu epilepsi basic, macam mana nak tolong kawan kamu ataupun saudara mara kamu yang ada sakit epilepsi jika dia diserang sawan. Kita nak hapuskan stigma. By knowing epilepsy, we say no to stigma. Next. Dan sebagai ahli Persatuan Epilepsi Malaysia juga, which is different from our Epilepsy Council today, saya juga ingin menyatakan bahawa di Malaysia kita ada support group. Okay, we call ourselves Persatuan Epilepsi Malaysia, which has been active for many years already. And we support public and we try to spread awareness to everyone in Malaysia with regards to epilepsy and also provide support to patients with epilepsy. Next. And the way you can find out about us is that you can actually go to our website. We have a website. We have, next slide please. We have a website, we have a Facebook, and we have also Instagram. You can visit, please feel free to visit our website and social media platforms. You can also email us if you would like to collaborate with us, ataupun you all nak join, nak buat community service ke, ataupun some of you nak buat extra community service ke apa, nak jadi member, please feel free to contact us. So that's it today dari saya berkenaan epilepsi dan stigma. So saya harap apa yang kami bertiga telah explain to you today help in terms of building your knowledge on epilepsy, and hopefully lepas ni kita faham apa itu epilepsi dan kita pun boleh tolong kawan-kawan kita supaya mereka tidak malu lagi mengaku yang mereka ada sawan, dan kita tolong mereka sedaya upaya yang kita boleh. Okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak kepada Dr. Sherini. So, seperti apa yang Dr. Sherini telah bincangkan dan sampaikan tadi, ya betul, memang sangat penting kita sebagai manusia biasa, tetapi lebih-lebih lagi sebagai ahli Persatuan Bulan Sabit Merah Malaysia untuk memastikan persepsi yang tanggapan yang salah dan diskriminasi tidak berlaku antara kita, dan kita sendiri tidak memberi diskriminasi kepada orang lain sebagai ahli Persatuan Bulan Sabit Merah Malaysia, kerana misi kita adalah misi kemanusiaan. So lebih banyak kita tahu dan kenal tentang sawan dan epilepsi, lebih baik kita boleh terangkan kepada ahli keluarga kita, kepada rakan-rakan kita, jika kita terserempak ataupun terdengar perbincangan pasal tentang orang yang mempunyai epilepsi ataupun sawan, kita boleh cuba mengubah dan memberi sedikit pendedahan kepada mereka, sebab anda semua telah hadir pada sesi hari ini. So thank you very much also to all of the three speakers, Dr. Sherini, Prof. Wong, and Dr. Khoo, for bagi pihak Bulan Sabit Merah Malaysia juga kerana sanggup meluangkan masa pada Sabtu ini juga, sacrificing your time with your family to give us this information and knowledge. We really appreciate very much the contributions, and we hope, of course, for more collaborations in the future. And of course, I'm definitely sure that all of our members and students and also the public who's joining us on YouTube are able to be more aware of what is epilepsy, how do we handle them, and how do we not do more harm, right? So do no harm by propagating falsehoods and stigma and discrimination. Alright, so kita sudah sampai pada akhir sesi sharing kita sekarang. Seperti mana yang biasa, kita akan meneruskan program kita dengan breakout session kita. Alright, so just double check with our logistics crew team. Are we ready for breakout? Yeah?
Yes.
Alright, so seperti yang mana? Yeah, great. Also to all facilitators, be prepared. We will be opening our breakout session soon. Seperti mana yang biasa, semua peserta akan diagihkan kepada bilik masing-masing dalam sesi breakout. Kita akan memberikan masa 30 minit untuk menjalankan sesi tersebut, dan kita akan jumpa balik sebelum iaitu hampir 3.50. Alright? So, Chong, can we start opening the rooms now? Kepada mereka yang, to those who are joining us from YouTube, please do not go anywhere. We will have also a breakout session here conducted in the plenary, so you'll be able to see what are the participants in Zoom also doing. And please do join us in our discussions, and we welcome all of your participation as well. So Chong, can we open the rooms now?
Yes, get ready. You'll be sent to the room directly. See you all after 30 minutes. Okay, for those who are on YouTube, please wait for a while. We'll be starting an activity here shortly. All right, while we wait for all the participants to enter their breakout rooms.
Hi, Yongjae, do you have problem?
I am trying to join, but I
moving to your room.
yeah.
A moment. Yongjie, can you click the more or breakout rooms button and then join your? Yeah. Okay.
Help me to move participants.
Okay. Yeah. Is everyone going to? Yeah. Just now I was waiting.
Should be. Yep.
All right.
Okay. Hi everyone. To those who are still staying in the plenary, we will also be having an activity here. But if you receive a invitation to go to a breakout room, please do so as well, so that you can have a better experience, as the groups might be slightly smaller in the breakouts. All right. I hope you enjoyed the lecture sessions earlier by our very expert in the field of neurology. And hopefully you have gained more knowledge about epilepsies and seizures. So through our breakout activity today, we will be able to explore more and to revise a bit of the information and knowledge that was shared with us earlier. So right now, I would like to invite everyone to watch a video with me. This might happen in your own schools or, and any public places as well. And let's see if we know how to handle the situation when it happens. I'll just share my screen right now. Okay, let's watch the video.
Right, girls, we're going to have to do that again from the top. It's just not good enough. You know, when you're on stage, everybody can see you. There is nowhere that you can hide. You two at the back especially, you'll be seen. So concentrate, please. From the beginning, following me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 5, 2. The ending. Why are you all coming up at different times? You know that last beat, you've all got to come up together, or you're going to look ridiculous. Try it one more time. Face this way, see if that helps. Follow it.
All right, so was the video playing smoothly for everyone? Did we enable chat?
I'm enabling.
Chat.
For
You
me,
can
it's a bit
also
laggy, but not
unmute
sure if it's only
yourselves.
me.
Yeah.
Okay, participants, you can use the chat, okay, but please chat properly, nicely. Are you able to listen to our facilitator, Michelle? Yes. Michelle, are you there?
What has happened earlier is that, but no, I think it's also like
Louder.
yeah. Everyone. Yeah, I dropped out. But is it comprehensible?
Oh, now is it comprehensible? The delay is freaking.
Hey, it's unmuted. Hi everyone. But you don't have the videos, right?
Yeah, let me try.
Yeah. Sorry, we're facing some technical difficulties here. Yeah, I just see if I can play it. Most probably still gonna record it. You're fine. Mm. It's okay. Little distraction for me. Yes.
Did I share audio?
Not sure. Okay. Yep, so please watch the video and tell me what you can see from the video, yeah?
Right, girls, we're going to have to do that again from the top. It's just not good enough. You know, when you're on stage, everybody can see you. There is nowhere that you can hide. You two at the back especially, you'll be seen. So concentrate, please. From the beginning, following me. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3. The ending. Why are you all coming up at different times? You know that last beat, you've all got to come up together or you're going to look ridiculous. We'll try it one more time. I'll face this way, see if that helps. Following me. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4.
Alright, so what just happened? Can anyone tell me? Maybe in the chat or unmute yourselves. What just happened in the video? We have a very quiet crowd today, yeah? But don't be shy.
I have to see introduction to see a chat.
Yeah, the girl is having seizure. Thanks, Shakira. So if you're a first aider or if you're her friend in this situation, what should you do? Remember what the doctor shared with us earlier, specifically Dr. Koo? Can anyone either unmute or type in the chat what should we do in this situation? Come on, don't be shy. We will guide you to the right answer, so don't worry. Let's see.
So what is the first step under this situation? Should you panic? Yeah, so put something soft and take like a folded jacket under the head. Yep, that's correct. But before that, so that's a first aid step. But before that, what you should do is first to remain calm and to assess the situation, to assess and see if there's any danger. Adakah situasi tersebut membahayakan anda sendiri ataupun membahayakan mangsa tersebut. And to give space, to get everyone to back away, don't crowd around the casualty, and just give her some space so that yeah, you can take the appropriate action. Let's continue with the video.
What's she doing? Can you just move back a little bit, please? She's still shaking. Right.
All right. So if you can hear the teachers mentioning earlier, can you move back a little, right? So that we don't crowd around the casualty or the person that's having a seizure. So now, as a friend, you have approached the casualty. What should you do now as a first aider? So Shahira already mentioned the step earlier, which is to put something like soft and thick, like a folded jacket under her head. But even before that, there is something that ideally we should do. If there's no adults around you, what should you do? Can anyone unmute or type in the chat? Yes, try to calm down. We have already calmed down. Now we approach the casualty, or we approach our friend who just had a seizure. What should we do? We need to contact someone. Who should we contact under this case? Can someone tell me who's the best? Yes, we can either call the ambulance, which is for Malaysia, we call 999. That's only one number. Or in a school, if this happens in a school, you can also call a teacher or an adult that you can contact who's nearby, right? And then ideally, we should also move any dangerous objects that's around her that might injure her head. So if there's any tables, chairs around her, we should also remove these objects. And check also for any medical bracelet that the patient might have, the casualty might have had on her. And let's continue with the video, right?
Sarah, can you go and get Mr. Bosworth for me? Joanne, can I have your jumper? All of you, can you just go and wait in the corner for me over there?
All right, so we can see that the teacher just cushioned her head, right? With a soft padding, which is a jacket. What else should we do in this situation? Remember something about timing? What should we do? We need to. Can someone type in the chat or unmute? Please don't be shy. I really don't bite. Anyone wants to talk to me today so that I don't feel so lonely? What else can we do after we have arranged for help, we have called an adult, or we have contacted 999? As a first aider, we can also. What should we do with her clothing, maybe? Okay. It might be, we might all be a bit tired already. It's all right. Yes, yeah, we shouldn't put anything in her mouth. That's correct as well. Thanks, Vincent, for engaging. Hopefully others can also follow in Vincent's footsteps to engage with me so that I don't talk alone. Yeah, but yeah, remember I mentioned something about time. So we should also time the seizure. And in terms of clothing, we should also help to loosen any tight clothing around her, such as a necktie, if he or she is wearing one. Okay? So let's continue further. So you can see the teacher is timing the seizure. And now the seizure has stopped. All right. So once the seizure has stopped, what should you do now? The video where I'm pausing it is already sort of revealing the answer to you. Anyone wants to tell me what we should do now? What's the teacher doing? If you still remember what Dr. Crew mentioned earlier in his slides or in his presentation, we should open their airway. All right. So we should open their airway. Anything else? Yes. Make sure that her airway is not blocked. What else can we do once her seizure has stopped? We should also, what can we tell the casualty? What should we let the casualty know? Or what could we provide to the casualty? Or is there any certain position that we can place the casualty in? I see that only Vincent is here with me today. Yeah, so we that's when the seizure is still happening. We need to record the timing. But let's say once the seizure has stopped, what we should do is then to reassure the casualty, as you would be able to see later once I resume the video, and also explain to the casualty what just happened to them, as they might not remember what had just happened, right? And also that you're there to help them. And like what the teacher is currently doing, we need to also open the casualty's airway, ensure that the airway is not blocked, and also to place the casualty in a recovery position, which will also be shown to you in the video later. All right, let's resume the video. Yep, so you can see now that the teacher is placing her in a recovery position.
It's Miss Sharp. We're in the gym, you're okay, but you've had one of your seizures. You're going to be just fine. All right, I just need you to relax, try your best to rest.
Yeah.
Good girl, that's right. You're doing really well.
She explained
Try your best to
what
relax.
just happened. And yeah, so that's basically it. So if we encounter a seizure or someone happening to have an episode of a seizure, this is what we can do as a first aider. All right. So hopefully this will help you to remember the steps a little bit more. And let's move on to the next activity. I'll stop sharing the screen for a moment. Give me a quick second. You see that there are more participants in this room. Give me a quick second, yeah. As we'll move on to a new robot. Have you guys enjoyed the session today? Does anyone want to unmute and tell me what you have learned from the session? No one wants to unmute themselves? Or no one wants to type in the chat? Just give me one quick second, yeah. So yeah, I hope that you can see the screen right now. This is what we'll do until the breakout session ends. So we have learned about a lot about epilepsies and seizures earlier. But there are certain things that are facts and certain things that might be a myth, which have also been presented to us earlier. So I will invite everyone to go to this link later. I'll share the link in the chat box, and everyone can pick one or two yellow sticky notes, and you can move it to either the fact column or the myth column. All right. Ya, Mas Sarah, program ini akan diadakan sampai pukul 4 petang, ya? I will share the link in the chat box very quickly. Alright, so you can visit this link, and yep, everyone can pick one or two sticky notes and move around. Oops, I'm not sure if you're able to access it already. Yeah, I see some people already in the already on the board. Yep, I'll send it again. Can everyone access the link? You should be able to access it right now. I shared it 3 times already in the chat box. You can just click on the link that's shared in the chat, yeah? Yep, so I do see some of you already on the screen. Please move the sticky notes to where you think it should. So for example, this statement, adalah penting untuk melindungi kepala pesakit semasa sawan berlaku. Is it a fact or a myth? If you think it's a fact, then just move it here to this box. Fakta? Kalau ini adalah satu pernyataan yang merupakan mitos, then just move it here kepada kotak yang berada di sebelah kanan. Okay, is it a fact or a myth?
Yeah.
Not okay.
Well,
Keep stopping.
Hello.
Doesn't go well. Can you try to open the link as well and just scroll up a bit and just share your screen?
Hmm?
Can you try to open the link and share your screen?
Right.
Down a bit.
You sure you are going? You are using the plenary link, right?
Yeah, I am.
I shared the guest visitor link again, so participants should be able to
Yeah,
receive
they
it.
are there already. It's just that I cannot share my screen from. Yeah. It's okay. Because we just want to show everyone. Alright. Yep, I see a lot of movement already. Okay. We still have a couple left in the middle. Please move. We have lions, penguins, snails, sharks. Visiting koala. Yep, there's 4 more stickers left, and then we can discuss a little bit about whether these answers are correct. Okay. There's one more here. Ujian pemeriksaan untuk epilepsi boleh dijalankan oleh. Can someone tell me if this is a myth or a fact? Don't move the big box, please. All right. Okay, we just leave it there, all right? Okay. All right. So now let's look at the statements. All right. Untuk fakta, we will just pick randomly, all right? Kami perlu letakkan pesakit pada posisi pemulihan selepas serangan sawan. Does everyone agree that this is a true statement? Adakah ini merupakan fakta? Maybe you can raise your hands if you agree. Letakkan pesakit pada posisi pemulihan selepas serangan sawan. Adakah ini merupakan fakta? Is it in the correct column? I only see one person raising their hand. So only one person thinks this is correct. Adakah hanya satu orang yang berasa bahawa pernyataan ini fakta? Ada 3 orang. So yes, pernyataan ini merupakan fakta. Kami haruslah meletakkan pesakit pada posisi pemulihan selepas serangan sawan. Okay. Let's look at another one. Kebanyakan pesakit epilepsi mempunyai fungsi sosial yang normal. If you agree that this is a fact, kalau kamu berpendapat bahawa pernyataan ini merupakan fakta, please raise your hand. Use the raise hand function on Zoom. Please don't do anything else. Don't play tic-tac-toe here. All right, I see a lot of hands being raised, and yes, that is a true statement. So whoever that shifted that there is true. Yeah. All right. So most of you have actually shifted the statements to the right place. So good job. And hopefully today's session will help you to learn a bit more. And yeah, you can gain more knowledge about seizures and epilepsy. Yep, I see our friends from the other breakout rooms are also filing in. I apologize for the technical difficulties that we've encountered here in the plenary. Hopefully our friends on YouTube can also look at this chart about facts and myths. And let's only speak with facts after this, yeah? So no more sawan is kena rasuk or, you know, yeah, sawan babi or pesakit epilepsi tak boleh bekerja atau bersenam seperti orang biasa, ya? All these are myths, mythos, okay? All right, I see lots and lots of our friends are coming in. Welcome back. I will soon hand it over back to the host for today, Daryl Ong, so that we can continue with something that everyone is waiting for, your current sessions. Let's close it in.
All right, welcome back, people. I see, yep, it's almost 1,000. Everyone is almost back. Okay, I hope all of you had some fun in the breakout room sessions. And yep, everyone is back, I think. Looks great. So yeah, thank you everyone so much for staying until so long. I hope that you guys were able to have some fun with your friends and with the facilitators that we prepared through the activities that we shared earlier. And I hope that your understanding about facts and myths and about what are the first 8 steps that you should take will be much clearer for you, and you will have more information and better prepared to handle situations where you encounter epilepsies as well. All right, so without further ado, let me just share my screen. Give me a moment. All right, welcome back, guys. Okay. All right, so welcome back to our session. We're going to be proceeding next to with a video.
Hi, my name's Maria, and I'm a doctor. In my line of work, first aid can be the difference between life and death. But you don't have to be a professional to save a life. So if you find yourself in an emergency situation, follow these safe steps. In the case of a burn, cool the affected area with cool running water as soon as possible for a minimum of 10 minutes. This will reduce the pain, swelling, and risk of scarring. Do not use ice or ice water. Next, cover the wound in cling film or a plastic bag to reduce pain. Do not burst any blisters. If the burn is severe, immediately call the emergency services. If you find yourself in the right place at the right time, be prepared to save a life and follow these safe steps. For more life-saving advice, visit safesteps.com.
All right. Okay. So yes, if it's a very severe burn, call the emergency services. Can anyone here please let me know in the chat function what is our emergency number? Okay, good. I see some numbers already. I see 999, I see 911, I see 994. Wow, okay. A majority of you got the answer correct. However, there are some people who are still perhaps maybe joining us from a different country, and maybe your emergency service is a bit different from ours. All right. So correct, the answer is 999. Thank you so much for sharing on the chat. I see very enthusiasm. So thank you so much. We'll move on. So as usual, we are towards the end of our session today. thank you so much for joining us so far, and stay on a bit longer. We have the next session is our Kahoot session. So we will try to finish this as much as possible on time. I think we will run slightly over 4 o'clock. So everyone, please grab your other mobile devices so that we can share the game pin as well, right? Sekarang tiba masanya untuk kami membuat sesi Kahoot. So sila sediakan alat peranti yang lain supaya kamu boleh senang untuk menyertai sesi quiz Kahoot. Right? So, Sean, you ready to Kahoot session?
Yes, I will share the screen.
All right. Okay. So, okay. Yep. So everyone, please get ready your mobile devices. Sediakan alat peranti anda. Game sila layari www.kahootit.it dan masukkan game pin 3108912. Or jika anda telah memuat turun Kahoot app, alright, sila terus pergi ke Kahoot app anda dan masukkan game pin 3108912. So please join us at kahoot.it or through your Kahoot app on your mobile devices and input the game pin 3108912. Alright. For those who are joining us on YouTube, you're also welcome to join. However, teachers, parents, and people above 18 years old, please do not join the Kahoot because the quiz is meant for our students below 18 years old. All right. Please also input a name that we can identify because we will need to contact. You need to contact us, and we will need to be able to verify your identity with the player name and also your own name to select the winners. All right. As usual, our sponsor today is also Outpost Uniform Sendirian Berhad, who's been so graciously sponsoring us for the session so far, and the prizes are of course e-vouchers from 30 ringgit from the first place, 30 ringgit for the first place, 25 for the second, third, 20 ringgit. Fourth is 15 ringgit, and the fifth is a 10 ringgit voucher, e-voucher to purchase, your accessories and Malaysian Red Crescent uniforms, accessories and T-shirts. So please do grab this opportunity. Right, it's coming to the end of the year. Some of you have grown slightly a bit of size because of MCO. Time to get some new stuff. So stand a chance to win some cash vouchers. Some e-vouchers. So that you can use it for your benefit as well. All right. So I will start in 2 more minutes at 3:58. I will begin the session. We have already 1,000 participants who are joining us. I'm sure here we have already about 900 people who has joined us, and I'm not sure how many we have on YouTube, but I'm sure there's about another 1,000 on YouTube or even more. So please do take this opportunity to join us as quickly as possible. We will start in 2 minutes at 3:58 sharp on the dot. All right, bear with us a little while longer. We will try to finish this as much as possible, as quick as possible. Sorry, yeah, let's get ready, guys. So maybe music louder a bit. All right, guys, 1 more minute. Wherever you are, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Zoom, quickly join the session. We're going to start in 1 minute time. 1 minute. Stand a chance to win e-vouchers worth 30 ringgit for the winners, right? Again, this is the aim of the game of Kahoot is you need to be quick and you need to be correct as well, accurate in your answers, right? There's also an opportunity to test whether have you been listening to what the doctors and the professors have been saying earlier during our session as well. All right, we have 1 more minute. Less than 1 more minute. We're going to start. Right, kami akan mulakan sesi dalam masa 1 minit. All right. Okay, we are at 3:58. I will count down, guys. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's start. First question. There are blank nerve cell neurons in our brain. There are thousands, there are millions, there are billions, there are trillions. How rich were we? Prof. Wong just now told us. Do you still remember? Can you test your long-term or short-term memory? Yes, correct. Right. The correct answer is there are billions of nerve cells or neurons in our brain. Next question, please. All right, C Goji. Next question. What is a seizure? Is it a problem where electrical impulse is too low in the brain? Normal electrical impulse disturbed by excessive neuron activity? The problem of electrical information transmission? And is it not enough neurons in the brain? Yes, the correct answer is seizure is a normal electrical impulses disturbed by excessive neuron activities. Yeah. Next. All right, scene 2 is leading. Next. A person who has a seizure usually does not remember what happened. Is it true or false statement? Quite simple, right? True or false? Your answer. Right, the answer is true. A person who has a seizure usually doesn't remember what happened, and that is why we need to stay with them so that we can explain to them what just happened to them. Right? It's not nice that you wake up confused and nobody explained to you what happened to you. Okay, next question, please. Next, true or false? Someone who has had a seizure has a high risk of recurrence. Is it true or is it false? Seseorang yang mempunyai kawan mempunyai risiko yang tinggi untuk kawan itu berulang. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1, 0. True, right? Someone who has had a seizure has a high risk of recurrence, right? So that's why it's important to get it checked out, to go for a medical check. All right, next please. Seizure is a disease or a medical condition? Is it a disease or is it a medical condition? Adakah dia penyakit atau dialah medical condition? Yes, all right. As we mentioned earlier, seizure is a medical condition, all right? It's a medical symptom. Next, please. Sign. What should you do if someone has a seizure and there are no adults nearby? Right, you're all students only, right? If you don't know what to do in this situation, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters? What is the correct number? It depends on where you stay, I guess. But in Malaysia, what is the number that we should call? Wow, we have people who are still living in US and different countries. 999 is the emergency number in Malaysia. All right, next please. Which of the following requires emergency medical attention? The seizure lasts about 30 seconds. The seizure occurs in a classroom. The person has never had a seizure before. The person has incontinence after the seizure. Last one is quite difficult, right? What is the answer? Which of the following requires yes? All right. If the person has never had a seizure before, it is important that they will require emergency medical attention. All right. Next, please. Question number 8. Which of the following action is incorrect during or after a seizure? Loosen the clothing, restrain the patient, move away from the sharp object, time the seizure. Which of the following action is incorrect during or after the seizure? Remember what Dr. Koo said earlier during his session? Yes, we should never ever restrain a person during a seizure or even just after a seizure, right? It's not nice suddenly you wake up, somebody is holding you down, right? So please never do that. In fact, you may even cause more harm when you restrain a patient. Next, please. Which of the following don'ts is incorrect? Again, don't be tricked by the question. Which of the following don'ts is incorrect? Right? Don't hold the person down. Don't put any objects in the mouth. Don't offer drinks or food during a seizure. Don't give rescue medication. Which one is incorrect? Right? If they have any medications on them, and you have you know how to administer them, or you have someone there to be able to administer them, then of course this is something that you might want to do as well. All right, next please. Which of the following about 3S for seizure first aid is incorrect? Your memory again, right? The 3S, what does it stand for? Is it solve? Is it stay? Is it safe? Is it die? Which one? Slightly tricky, I would say. Right? So solve is incorrect, right? There's stay and there's safe and there is a side. Next, please. Okay, next. Number 11. Should you restrain the movement of someone who has seizures? No, do not restrain them. Yes, restrain them until the convulsion stops. Yes, restrain for 5 minutes and then release them. Are you listening to what I was saying earlier? Just wonder if there are people who are wrong. I didn't want to say. Wow, okay, there are still a lot of people who think otherwise. Yes, again, I mean, I cannot emphasize any further. Whenever someone is having convulsions and is experiencing a seizure, please never, never, never restrain them. All right, next, please. Question 12. How do you protect the head of someone having a seizure? Make them wear a helmet, put something small and soft under the head, hold their head, or bandage their head. What would be the correct way to protect the head of someone having a seizure? You know. Yes, right. Put something small and soft under the head. All right, a small and soft padding, such as a towel, jackets. Those are some things that you might want to consider. Next, please. Why we should not put any objects into the mouth of someone having seizure. Why? One, it will destroy the object. Does it? It will help to end the seizure earlier. To make sure the airway is clear, or to make sure they will not swallow their tongue. So why we will not put any objects into the mouth? Yes, to make sure that the airway is clear. The others are all usually myths that does not happen. All right, next, please. Your friend has a seizure and an ambulance is on the way. What can you do to help them? I can make sure they are safe and no injuries. I can take a video to show them what has happened. I can help them to get their medicine. I can leave them and wait for them to recover themselves. Which kind of friend are you? Yes, exactly. So make sure that they are safe and there are no further injuries or harm may come to them. All right. Next, please. True or false? It is important to time the seizure. Is it important? Come on, guys. True or false? Everyone is quite confident with the answer? Yes, exactly. It's very, very important to time the seizure. This information will help drastically for the neurologists, such as Prof. Wong, Dr. Koo, and Dr. Sharini, to be able to give the appropriate treatment to the casualty, to the patient. Next. Next is a quiz. What should you do after a seizure? All right, you give the casualty food and water immediately. You put them in a recovery position. You ask them to stand up and walk and try to walk around, or you start CPR without checking their breathing. What will be the correct thing to do after a seizure? Yes, exactly. Such as you all saw in the video, put them in the recovery position. That is the most important. Next. Question 17. Why do we need to learn about seizure first aid? We could potentially save a life. We could help someone having a seizure. We don't cause harm to the person having a seizure, or all of the above. Is it either one? Or is it not? Thumbs up? Exactly. It's all of the above, right? It's definitely we can potentially save a life if someone has a seizure or fit, at a train platform. They may fall into the train tracks itself. We know what to do, how to handle it. We could help someone, of course, when they're having a seizure, and of course, we do not cause further harm to them while they're having a seizure. Next, please. All right, another true or false questions. Epilepsy can be diagnosed and treated, or it's something that modern medicine still can't do anything about. Do you recall the session earlier? Right? 4 more seconds. Halfway there. Yes. All right. Yes, the answer is true. Epilepsy can be diagnosed, and there are ways to treat and manage epilepsies for people who are living with epilepsies. Next, please. All right, Sarawak, Chester is still in the lead. Second last question. Which of the following statements is true? Right? People with epilepsy usually have lower performance in study and work. Epilepsy is not a mental or emotional disorder. Epilepsy is due to evil spirits and possession by demons. Anyone can get seizures regardless of age, gender, or race. Which of the following statements is true? Right, 2 of them, which is epilepsy is not a mental or emotional disorder, and anyone can get seizures regardless of age, gender, or race as well. All right, last question. Then before that, yes, Joel's in the lead now. That will Chester be able to regain his position? Which of the following is a low-risk activity for a person with epilepsy? Boxing, mountain climbing, badminton, and parachuting. You recall what Dr. Sharini mentioned earlier? The list of activities? Last question, yes. Badminton is a low-risk activity for a person with epilepsy, whereas boxing, mountain climbing, and parachuting actually is very high risk and completely restricted for people with epilepsy. So let's find out. Who is the winner for today's World First Aid Day NYOG? In third place is Ruben. Please reach out to us. Second place is Jingmin. And the first goes to, is it Chester? Yes, indeed, it's Chester. Congratulations to our winners. Congratulations to Shen Yu and Kyo Yi something. Please reach out to us at nyog@redcrescent.org.my to claim your prizes. We would like to find out some information for you so that we can send over the prizes to all of you. Please give us your feedback now. How do you feel about today's session and about the game, the activities and the Kahoot questions that you've just played? Was it too difficult? Was it too hard? Yeah, it looks like the statistics shows here that only 54 people here are correct overall. So, and the game rating is still rather high. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to spend this, slightly more than 2 hours with all of you. But don't go yet. We still have few more messages for you to share with you. We have something interesting this month as well, which is let me share. So yes, so we've just finished our Kahoot session. So we'd also like to share with you about this month's Young Humanitarian online quiz competition, right? It's open to all primary and secondary school students. We just have so many activities for all of you guys because we really love and cherish our youth, our young people in the Malaysian Red Crescent. And we just, we're working so hard to get so many activities and prizes so that to keep you entertained, to keep you involved, and to keep you engaged, right? So this competition is open to all primary and secondary school students. We will be covering topics on the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement. We're also covering on international humanitarian law and humanitarian action. We've been talking about Malaysian Red Crescent societies, COVID-19 knowledge and MRCS response, humanitarian effects of nuclear weapons, and the prevention and response to sexual and gender-based violence as well. All right, and as usual, e-certificates of participation and achievement will also be provided, right? So do join us to become, to be a young humanitarian champion and stand a chance to win prizes, all right? So for inquiries, please contact us at younghumanitarian@redcrescent.org.my. And of course, as usual, please like, subscribe, and follow our social media to be informed of the latest announcements as well. You can also simply scan the QR code that is in front of you right now to be able to read about the details and register through that link as well. All right. And then, as usual, for today's certificates, please, again, we are reminding you to not contact us the minute after this session closes or tomorrow or the 2 minutes after this, because your certificates will only be generated within 5 working days, right? 5 working days, which means it can take up to next Monday, all right? So, sorry, it can be the next Friday, all right, to check. So, only if you don't see your name, you still don't receive your certificate after Friday next week, then only you need to check, right? But before that, please be patient. Please be kind to one another, to us as well, because we'll take some time to process over thousands of certificate applications, right? Because the number of you guys are too massive for us to handle, all right? So please be patient, all right? And use the certificate database search function that we've created for you by either inputting your IC number with the dash included, by providing the email address that you have used to answer in the attendance link as well, all right? It's either one of those, all right? So that's just some information. And again, thank you so much for your active participation for today. We hope that you've been able to enjoy the session as we have enjoyed it as well. Please like, follow, and subscribe our social media accounts. And see you again on the next session that will be on the 13th of October. We'll be talking about some interesting things about disaster risk reduction. And for now, I think my team will be sharing the attendance link. Very important for all of you to fill it up completely and accurately so that you will be able to receive your certificates without any hiccups, all right, without any problems. Again, the links that we've shared with you, please do not share with anyone else. If you do find any people who are sharing links without any authorization, we will not hesitate to take action against those people as well. Those who are please do not, those who are online on YouTube as well, you will also receive a separate link for YouTube participation. Please do not type anything in the chat so that our facilitators can share the attendance link in YouTube chat and also in our Zoom chat, all right? So thank you so much for joining us today. To those who are joining us on YouTube, thank you so much for spending more than 2 hours with us, 2 hours 20 minutes almost. We hope that we will see you on the next session on the 13th of October, and we will catch you again. Thank you so much for joining. Everyone, please stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the next one. For those who are in Zoom, please don't go anywhere. We still have a photo taking session. So thank you so much for those who are on YouTube.